All right, bro. Thanks for joining me. I have Grand Cam here today, and I basically messaged him because I saw his lifestyle that he has on Instagram, and I thought it was very, very interesting. I've seen him with like multiple girls. He seems to know his shit. He looks good, living the lifestyle. Basically the life that most men want to live nowadays, having fun, being with girls, but also having the discipline in order to be able to manage all of that, right? So that's why I have you on today, and I'm pretty sure we'll have some interesting things to talk about, bro.
I'm excited. Thanks for having me, Prince. It's an honor. I've seen your Instagram too. I was just saying, like, you got some badass shit going on. So I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, bro. I mean, you can also introduce yourself. Like, how did you get into all this, like, dating? How was your journey? There's always like, it's funny because for every man, it's kind of similar journey, right? But I want to hear like your story. How was it with you? Like, figuring out girls, getting good at it. What was your thing?
Awesome. Yeah. So my name is Grand Cam, and I got into becoming a dating coach. I was informally a dating coach since high school, but this is how it started. Like, I was by no means like who the man that I am now. I was pretty much like a loser. I had moments where I was simping. I was creepy at certain times. I was inauthentic,
Yeah,
and I was scared to approach women. I was scared to talk to girls. But
yeah,
by the same token, Prince, I also had some charm as well. So I wasn't just like a complete dweeb that didn't have anything at all. I had something going for me, but I was inconsistent in my results. So what ended up happening was when I started getting results, like I lost my virginity at a really young age. So I was like 16. And then from there, I wanted to know why I was able to attract this woman, why I was able to sleep with her. Why was it like, how did this all happen? So I've always had this curiosity ever since like I was a kid. My father and I, we had a very good relationship where I would pick his brain about multiple things. I was like, Dad, why do we live in this house? Why are we like, I'm Middle Eastern, so I'm Persian. So I'd ask my dad, like, ask him about our Iranian culture. And I would ask him about just multiple questions about life, politics, everything. So I've always had curiosity. And curiosity has led me, most importantly, to learning who I am, but I was also very curious about other people and understanding the psychology of how like men and women communicate, how other guys communicate with each other, and how women communicate amongst other women. When you have all these things like compounded over time with like, having my education in business, and I got my master's in business as well, over time, I realized that I love to be social. And one of the things that got me inspired to being a dating coach was like I saw my friends struggling. So they would informally call me up like, "Yo, Cam, got the situation. What do I do?" And I would have conversations for like hours. I love to just help guys out, not only in self-development space, well, not only in dating, but in self-development as well. I love self-development. So when I would have these informal conversations, I started realizing that I have a knack for this dating coaching stuff because a lot of the times the guys would hit me up. We would talk for about 30 minutes to like an hour to 2 hours. And then the guys would be like, "Yo, man, that was really sound advice." I said, "Okay, perfect." When I graduated from undergraduate school in business, I joined Toastmasters International, which is a public speaking community
okay.
all around the world. And I highly recommend everybody who's like a viewer of yours, a subscriber, a follower of yours to really get into Toastmasters. From that point forward, Toastmasters helped me articulate better, helped me deliver my message better. So, you're mentioning that you like how I like deliver my message, and some of the stuff I'm saying is pretty good. Well,
Yeah,
Toastmasters helped me with that. And and then I was working for my family business for quite a while, for like 10 years. But I decided to jump ship and do my own thing, Prince, because I was honestly tired of having a boss, which were my parents, but God bless them. I wanted to do my own thing. I want to have my own legacy. I didn't want to have the easy way out where I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take over the business and just, acquire what my parents have worked hard for. I wanted my own legacy. I wanted my own brand. And this is what you see on the background of my screen, which is the Grand Mail. From that
yeah.
point forward, the Grand Mail gave birth to Grand Cam. And then I've been helping guys for years now, just helping them with dating coaching. And formally now I'm like dating coaching guys all around the world. I have clients who I travel to them to different countries and I help them out. They come visit me in the state of Arizona where I'm residing. And I have a retreat coming up actually in a couple of weeks at the time of this recording in Las Vegas from March 23rd to March 28th. And we're going to have a lot of good stuff coming up.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. There's some solid info, bro. I mean, I already have some questions for you out the gate, right? Like some direct questions, boom, right? So let's say a guy came up, right? Like you mentioned you were like trying to help out your friends and stuff like that, which I totally understand. I did the same. Like, what would you say are like the three most important things for a guy that wants to get as many chicks as possible, get laid as much as possible, basically be desired by as many women as possible? What would be like the three things you would tell a guy, boom, if you have these three things, it's a wrap?
Okay, great. Three big things. So, Matt, being in your masculine identity is the number one thing. And
Yeah.
I'm going to say this in sequential order. So, masculine identity, what is that? Masculine identity is when you have, you know how like in the men's self-development space, we often are trying to figure out who we are and what's our purpose, right?
Yeah.
When you are able to define clearly who you are, what's your purpose in this world, what are your boundaries, what are your standards, what are your principles, what's your code, what's your lifestyle, what's your energy, what kind of like, how are you projecting yourself to the world, and most importantly, how do you talk to yourself up here?
Yeah.
Because guys like us who are balling it out, living like crazy lifestyles, we can have that, but if we're not deeply, sorry, really quick, Prince, I'm getting like some feedback on my side. Do you hear any like feedback on my end?
No, I mean your audio is pretty good, bro.
Okay, okay.
Everything's
For
good.
some reason, I'm like when I talk, I know you can cut this part out, but when I'm talking, I hear some like weird feedback in the background. When you're not talking, you're good though. I
I
don't know what
mean,
it is.
check.
Here,
I
let
mean,
me let
I
me try.
I honestly don't hear any. Like, I hear you perfectly good and fine.
Okay, let me try to disconnect my headphone really quick, and I'll connect it back in.
I had the exact same issue before where I was trying to set up the audio. I need to like purchase some special equipment, bro, for that.
Okay, so I just disconnected. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me well now?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect, bro.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to continue now.
Yeah.
So, okay, so number one, most important thing for a man to get a lot of chicks is you got to be in your masculine identity. So having a clear idea of like your standards, boundaries, principles, your code, the energy you're projecting to the world. How do you talk to yourself up here? Because
Yeah.
if you let's just say on the surface you're killing in business, you're killing it in other avenues of your life at the gym, but if you the way you talk to yourself up here is when things get tough, when you got to be resilient, but you cower because you allow your insecurities and your trauma to take over your life and it has a huge impact on your life. Well, guess what? You're not going to lead women the way you think you're going to lead women. You're
Yeah.
not going to be able to have as much sexual abundance with women the way you think you're going to have it, because women can smell insecurity like that.
Yeah.
Women need to see a guy is assertive, consistent in his character and masculinity, and he's not afraid of her, right? Because
Yeah.
oftentimes a guy, like you heard the word gym cell, right? The term gym cell, like a
Yeah. I've
guy
heard
who's
that.
like, yeah, he's like work out, super buff and everything, but he's afraid. He's like a wallflower when he's at the club. He's a
Yeah.
super ripped dude. He'll stand by the wall. He'll watch all these girls pass by, and he's just like sipping his drink. He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, he doesn't do anything about it, right?
Yeah.
So masculine identity, number one. Number two is your communication. So I already mentioned how you communicate to yourself, but this is why Toastmasters, I didn't even realize, Prince, was going to be so important, because I came with the aspiration to be a public speaker, because one of my goals is to be a TED Talk speaker. So I was like, I'm just going to do this for public speaking and be able to be more antiquate, or excuse me, enunciate my words better. But then I
Okay.
realized, I was like, yo, Prince, like after being like the president for my chapter in Toastmasters in Los Angeles for a year, I was like, yo, I know how to host. I know how to host meetings. I know how to lead better now. And I've been seeking leadership my whole life. I was in fraternities, I was in different organizations, and I had different leadership roles, but the president role was the best freaking role. And it boosted my self-improvement really fast. So
Okay.
communication. When you communicate to women, I know a lot of guys may not agree with this completely, but me personally, I'm very authentic in how I carry myself. And I don't fucking care if the girls don't like the way I carry myself, because how I carry myself is what makes me happy and what brings peace into my life, right? Because my masculine identity is achieved, because I'm authentic. And when I say I'm authentic, when I see a girl, when I want to be intimate with her, I'll let her know, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes I'm not going to let her know right away immediately. There's timing and finesse and strategy and tact that's involved in this.
Yeah.
But when I'm in the bedroom with her, I'll speak my mind about what I want to do with her. And when you are authentic, women actually become more sexually liberated sooner. So this whole last minute resistance bullshit, this whole like, I'm going to make you wait like 5 days, 10 days, 1 month. Fuck all that. I don't deal with any of that shit. So technically, so Prince, essentially, I'm getting laid pretty much I'm a first date laid type guy.
Yeah, same here, same here. I mean, I have this mentality, sounds funny, maybe, but I call it like get fucked or get lost mentality. Like,
love it.
I ain't trying to play games. I mean, like, I'll tell the chick, yo, like after the date, you know, if you want, we can go over to my place. You know, I'll keep it, you know, girls always want like this suspense. They want to act like it's not, you're not communicating what's going to happen, but essentially everyone knows what's going to happen. So for example, I'll tell a girl, look, we can go to my place. She'll say like, do what? I'll be like, yeah, we can just talk, you know, maybe have some wine. That's it. You know, I'll never tell the girl what I'm actually, you know, planning. Let's put it like that. But yeah, absolutely. Like if I sense like hesitancy in a girl, I'm very quick to say no, because I just have this like get fucked or get lost mentality. Like there's no in betweens. I'm not waiting for like a month. That's crazy.
Yeah, because Prince, if you think about it, like what you just mentioned was so super important. It's any kind of friction in conversation, you're out of my life. Get fucking lost, like you're pretty much saying, right? So that's why a lot of guys, Prince, they're so desperate. So there's two things. You can desire a woman, or you can be desperate for a woman. A desire is not thirsty and it's not needy. That's what desperation is. Desire is technically you have a desire to just want to get to know her better on a non-intimate level and an intimate level too.
Yeah.
And desire fuels that sexual energy, that like energy where you're like, if she just comes into my bedroom, I'm gonna dominate this girl so freaking bad. Like she sees it in your eyes. She sees it in the way you carry yourself, right? Yeah. So communication is extremely important. And the last one to get abundance and have a lot of sex with women is leadership. Like you have to be a leader in all avenues of your life. When the guys are bitching and complaining, Prince, about like, oh, it's so hard to be a man. I got to set up the date. I got to do this. I got to work out. I got to get my money. But I'm like, bro, it's a privilege to be a fucking man. I would rather not. I would never change my gender to be anything else but a man.
Yeah.
And I love being a man. And then leadership will help you in relationships. It'll help you lead in the bedroom. It helps you lead when you're like at a restaurant. Let's say you're taking your girl on a date to a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, you know, whatever the circumstance is. You're holding her hand, you're bringing her in. You're like, all right, I want that table over there. They put you in some shitty rinkety dinky table by like the kitchen. I'd be like, no, I'm not sitting there. Put me somewhere, put me in that booth right over there. Right? Assertiveness comes from leadership too. So that's the three top things that a man should have to get a lot of abundance with women.
Yeah, bro, that's super cool. Like I just thought about it, and my three main things are basically your three main things, but like slightly differently explained, right? With different terminologies, but essentially the same thing. I mean, because I've been thinking about it because I just recently started YouTube and I want to tell guys, you know, how my life is. So it kind of forced me to self-reflect a little bit what I do. And I narrowed it down to three things. And it even goes in your order, but it's basically all three are important. So number one thing, which is kind of what you mentioned, what was the first thing you called it again? You said just
masculine identity, or just identity in general.
Exactly. Yeah. What I called is the swag factor. So the reason I call it swag factor instead of like, for example, confidence is because swag factor. If you imagine someone who has swag, that usually comes with an air of confidence, right? This just inner tranquility that is very, very dominant and masculine, right? If someone has swag, like you can just immediately feel it. It's like this kind of cool factor. And it ties in with a lot of stuff that you said. And essentially what I define as swag factor is like your ability to just stay calm under stress situations, right? Like for example, let's say you're with a girl and she's trying to tease a little bit, you know, they call it shit test, right? Like a guy would kind of maybe like just go into it and become nervous. Oh shit, what should I say? But someone with swag, it's like, yeah, whatever, you know. Yeah. Like let's say the girl says, oh, I don't like your shirt. Okay. I don't know, but I like it. Like, could be you don't like it, but I like it. All right, cool. And then you just ask her a question like, which country have you been to? And she just kind of senses that you don't really give a fuck. You just have swag. You don't really care. She's here. You know, you're still engaged in the conversation. but it's like innerly you're so confident about everything that's happening that you don't really give a fuck, which kind of gives you swag. And a lot of people call it confidence, but like I said, I call it swag, because confidence, when I grew up, like I saw all these pickup videos and like people say, oh, I'm confident, and they would like just go out and do pranks and do like a lot of silly shit. And I never found it cool. So I think confidence plus cool equals swag. And all girls, I think, are very, very, they're very, very good at smelling it, like you said. Like as soon as like they sense that there's some like friction inside of you, or there's some incongruency, right? Where it's like, maybe like you just kind of, not even unsure, but like inside of yourself, you're not comfortable. They can instantly smell that. So yeah, I call that just being able to be stress-free in any situation, like just never panicking, always staying cool, social situations, always having everything under control. And then the second thing that I'm really big on is appearance. And that's one thing I started to think about in recent times. I think appearance is a big thing, because I don't know if you remember, like back then in high school and stuff, if you think about it, the girls at the end of the day always gravitated towards maybe like the tall guy, or the guy that looked maybe more handsome, or the guy, not just like physical attributes, but the guy who just looked cool, right? Like it's always like the guy who looked cool who somehow also always got more chicks. It was never the guy that looked like a dork, right? Like that dressed like shit, you know, didn't have a good outer appearance. So I think that ties into the swag factor, because the better you look, like, and the more just even like sexually appealing you look, I think that makes a huge difference, because it kind of opens the door. It kind of just allows a chick to immediately already judge. Let's say on Instagram. Instagram is a big dating app nowadays. I just call it a dating app. Like if you don't look cool and you don't present yourself in a cool way, it's more of a presentation. Like I think you're gonna have a tough time. And the last thing is also what I think you call communications. So I think that's a big thing. But communication, the way I treat girls, if it just comes to fucking, I treat it very rudimentary. It's very basic. So what I would just tell a guy who wants to get laid as much as possible is basically talk to as many chicks as you can. Guys will be blown away by the little amount of girls that they talk to, like actually talk to and ask out. So if I wanted to get like laid, let's say 50 times this year, I would literally like go on my Instagram. I'd be like, all right, boom. Every day I'm gonna like send out 200 DMs to girls. Just boom, boom, boom. Just like cold DMs, right? Like acquisitions, like boom, 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 200 every single day. And I'll be like, all right, cool. Out of 200 girls, maybe a third will answer. And I'll these third, like I'll ask every single one of them that I'm gonna, talk to. I'll ask them out on an actual date. I'll be like, all right, cool. I'll hold it short. At the end, I'll be like, hey, I think you're pretty cute. Would you like to go on some coffee sometime? We can get to know each other. And I'll do this like out of 200, maybe like, a third will answer, let's say like, 70 or something. And then out of 70, a certain percentage will also say yes. And I'll go on a date with those. And I think a lot of guys heavily underestimate the amount of girls that they're supposed to talk to every single day if they really want to get laid. So I'll just be like, yo, you got to communicate like what you want clearly. Send a chick a text, tell you thought she was cute, have some small conversation, ask her out on a date, just ask her for a coffee date, and then go on a date, have some conversation, and then at the end of the date, you ask her out if she wants to go to your place. Done. If you do this at a large scale, at a large enough scale, like there's no way you cannot get laid, especially if you look good and you have a good presentation and she can sense that you have some swag. So that's what I would basically tell a guy.
Yeah, no, this is a very good topic right now that we're talking about, because I think something just to address this even further. Not only should he be DMing women on Instagram, but he should also be using, in my opinion, dating apps. He should be going out, socializing with women. You got to be on all fronts. Like there are guys out there that are like, I only use dating apps. Bro, you're only using dating apps? You're missing out on so much opportunity to talk to women. Like I do content creation where I interview chicks. I mean, at the time of the recording of this video, like last night, we got some wild ass shit happening on the camera, and we're gonna
Yeah.
be posting on my IG soon.
Yeah.
But these women out here, especially in the state of Arizona, I don't know if you ever visited Arizona before. Have you been?
No, Arizona, no. Arizona, no.
Dude, Prince, anytime you come here, let me know, dude. Like
That's
it's a fucking wild ass state, and it's very slept on, to be honest with you. And the amount of women here are extremely beautiful. And you combine beautiful women with clubs, the nightlife that we have, and of course they're usually drinking too. So they're just like acting wild and just being like crazy and being sexual in general. So when you have like for a guy who wants to get more sexual abundance, there's a mentality that I teach to my guys. I teach sexual affirmations, and one of them I teach is I'm sex mentality. What I'm sex mentality is that, Prince, like anything that you do, anything that I do is sexy. Like that suit you're wearing, you make the suit sexy, not the suit making you sexy. You get what I'm saying?
1000%, 1000%.
Yeah. So like that, I always reference a Future song that came out, recently about Way Too Sexy with Young Thug and Drake.
Yeah.
Anything I wear, anything I do in this world is sexy. Like the way I move, the way I talk, even the way I pick up my phone, the way I text people, like everything I do so goddamn sexy. I make my watch sexy, right? So when girls feel that, they don't feel the need. So, there's this whole, let me just finish this point really quickly, and I'm going to bring this up also. Girls don't feel the need to put up their slut defense walls up, right?
Yeah.
So here's what a lot of times.
Can you still see me? Wait.
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah. I'm just hearing like a beeping sound on the background.
Yeah, I know what that is. Someone's trying to call me. Give me a second. Yeah, so it's let's see where
there you go. That's one of the ladies trying to call him right now during our interview.
Do not disturb. Yeah, it's actually a girl, so yeah. Let me, how do I do this? Fine. All right, we should be good now.
All right, perfect. So on to the point of this, like a lot of reasons why guys, I'll say this, why guys are not, one reason why guys are not getting sexual abundance is because the girl perceives him as the type of guy that is like, if I do give it up easily, if I do have sex with him on the first date, he's going to judge me for it and he's going to shame me for it.
Right? Yeah, exactly. That's a super good point, bro. That's yeah, we can touch on that too. But I even include that in swag factor, right? Like a cool guy, the chick's going to be like, all right, I'm going to have sex with him. It's going to be cool. We're going to have some good time. And that's it. Like, he's going to go on Instagram and fucking shame me for it. But that's a really good point, bro.
Yeah, because a lot of times, thank you. A lot of times women make guys wait because they're like, either they're not as interested, or number two is like, if I give it up too easily because he's valuing me so high, he's doing all these extra things for me, he's giving me that boyfriend energy so soon. So I don't want to look like a deflowered, girl or some shit. Like, I got to put this image in his mind that I'm like this pure virgin type chick, which, majority of these girls out here aren't virgins. Let's be real. They're not virgins. They all had sex either in high school or in college, or at a very young age, whenever they had it. So I teach my guys that when you have the I'm sex mentality, that leads to other mentalities and affirmations. So I'm your liberator. When I talk about I'm your liberator, it's that because I'm liberated in who I am, because I can express myself with like the swag factor, right? Like how you referenced it. My swag is a representation of how liberated I feel. So I know there are guys that are not going to, the way you have your shirt unbuttoned like that, a lot of guys don't have the courage to do that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right. And that's a very little minor detail that guys on the surface don't see. But when a guy like you and a guy like me, I can notice that immediately. I'm like, yo, this guy's super fucking confident. Right.
Yeah.
So when you're liberated within who you are and you don't allow the insecurities and your trauma in your life to really impact your life significantly, well, guess what? Women, when they meet you and they see everything about you, your aura, your energy, your character, your flow, your swag, they're like, yo, why would I even want it? Like, if this guy speaks sexually to me right now, why the hell would I want to make him wait? I want to get into this guy's pants already.
Yeah, that's a good point, bro. That's a good point. I mean, when I was young, I used to follow this guy. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. It's called Good Looking Loser. He made some really good points. Mm-hmm. And I learned a lot from him. And basically, the way it was described, the way I thought about it back then, basically, it was a sexual threat it sounds kind of funny, but it's a sexual threat. Like whenever you talk to girls, you always need to somehow convey that you're some sort of sexual threat. Now, what does a sexual threat mean? That doesn't mean like, oh, you tell, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you now. No, that just means, all right, you pull up, your shirt is a little bit unbuttoned. She might look at your chest, and then the way you talk to her, you like, you're very assertive, you're very cool about it, right? And then there's like this spark in the air, and usually being a sexual threat comes from that's why I said appearance. It usually comes from the way you look, that you just look. Now, like for me, there's a spectrum, right? I describe it as a spectrum. So on the far left, you have like the absolute boyfriend material, would do anything for the girl, and girls, funny enough, literally have different rules for different type of guys. That's how it is. If a girl ever tells you, yo, I have this and this rule, yeah, that's for a certain type of guy. And in this spectrum, for example, on the far left, you have the boyfriend material. That's like the dork type of guy who'll do anything for the girl. He would like wait until, I don't know, like a year has passed before she gives it up, like that type of guy, super boyfriend material. And then in the middle, you'll have like, that's a confident guy. Girls can like kind of picture a relationship with him, but he also has options. And then on the far right is what I refer to as like fuckboy / scumbag. And that's the type of guy, like they have totally mastered the art of the girl sleeping with them and the girl feeling like there's going to be zero judgment. Because they're like, all right, this guy already does it all the time. This guy, he's just cool with it. I can just have sex with him, have a one-night stand with him, and that's cool. And what I tell guys is you want to be like in the middle, right? Like the type of guy where girls can like picture a relationship with you, but they kind of feel like they'll have to work for it because you have the options. And then just a little bit further to like the direction of scumbag / fuckboy. I think if you're in this range, then basically if a girl comes up to you, you're gonna give up the aura of like, yo, I'm very confident, I have swag, I get chicks, I get girls, I look cool, I look a little bit edgy. With the appearance, you always want to look a little bit edgy, right? Like shirt, like even with me in the suit, right? Like I'll unbutton the shirt, right? Just to like give up this vibe, like, yo, like, just I'm like, if it looked like this, I would like this would be like more boyfriend material kind of look, right?
Facts.
Like this is more like in the direction of like, let's say fuckboy scumbag. I mean, I could unbutton it even more, and this would look like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about anything. Smashing all the chicks, right? But but yeah, you always want to have this little edge. That's why I say like you have to be very picky about your style, the way you dress, and the way you look. But I totally like agree with you there. And like I said, girls will have different rules for different men, right? If you're like this super boyfriend type of guy, all the way to the left, the way you look like, the way you carry yourself, and even like with the judgment part, it's funny because the boyfriend type of guys, those are the guys who are gonna judge, like, she has sex with all these guys, or not that she has sex with all these guys, but like they aren't comfortable with a girl's sexuality. It's like those, like the incel type of energy. If a girl would tell like the boyfriend material type of guy, yo, I want you to spank my ass super hard and like, like grab me during sex and choke me, like, oh, really? But a scumbag be like, yeah, fuck that shit. Like I'm slapping the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, a girl can sense that, like how comfortable you are with like a girl's deep sexuality.
Dude, Prince, I have to say this. Oh my God, this reminds me of what happened last night. So so this couple comes up to me and they're like, oh, is this interviews that you're doing? Is it for TikTok? I'm like, yeah, it's for TikTok. Come over. And I asked them for their names. So they give me their names. And we're just having small talk until my videographer is ready. Yeah. At some point, I start asking them some questions. I'll just say, like, I start with like a very basic question, like, what makes a successful relationship? How did you guys meet each other? Have you guys expressed each other's like sexual fantasies and kinks to one another? Have you guys had sex with one another? Right.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. 2 times this girl did this. The girl that's with the guy.
Yeah.
So these girls that come on camera, if you guys go on my Instagram, you can check it out. Like you'll literally see sometimes the girls, like they'll like kind of shake their hips a little bit and they'll show their butt, right? Girls being girls. Yeah. So this guy is watching me and him. Like I'm like standing. So it's me, the guy, and the girl like further away from me. So I'm talking to him, and then at some point in the conversation, the girl felt it was relevant to like turn her side to really kind of towards me. It wasn't really towards him, but towards me. And she just goes like this, shakes her butt like that, right? And I'm seeing this and I'm like, yo, dude, if I in my head, I was like, I just want to smack this girl's ass so bad, but I feel so bad for the boyfriend. I kind of felt like,
Wait,
you know, like
the boyfriend was there.
yes, the boyfriend was there, and she just started
Uh,
literally shaking her ass in front of me. I'm like, oh my God, the dog in me just wants to be like that,
yeah.
right? But I felt bad for that guy, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna make him look like such a simp in front or cuck in front of like camera. And I was like, I don't want to be like that. So what ends up happening is I look and I'm just like, oh, I won't do anything. So I'm just holding my mic, right? She does it about 5 minutes later. So she does a thing, shakes her ass because I'm asking very sexually provocative questions, and she's feeling liberated because I'm liberating her. I'm making her feel comfortable that I'm not going to judge her. So she does it again, and I see her and I look at the guy, and the guy's like not even doing anything. I'm like, yo, bro, slap her ass, man. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what I mean. And girls, if you have this type of behavior and they can sense that you're not comfortable with like their sexuality, you'll immediately move towards boyfriend spectrum. And once you're in boyfriend spectrum, like I said, the rules change. Now it's okay. You gotta wait. You know, she's not gonna want to have sex that more often. She won't say what she won't do as you say, you know, as often as you would want. You know, and if a guy like you comes up, a guy who's more on the right spectrum, more like, you know, leading towards like in the scumbag fuckboy spectrum on the right, she's going to be like, all right, cool. That's a guy I can show my sexuality to. And that's the difference. And a lot of guys, you know, that's one thing, for example, a lot of guys will ask me about like cheating and stuff like that. And there's one thing I actually really believe that if you're a certain type of guy, girls actually don't want to cheat or won't cheat because girls actually don't want to sleep with multiple guys. But what happens in this society is that because so many guys on the boyfriend spectrum, the girls don't feel comfortable displaying or showing the sexuality. So it's like they're kind of forced to now be comfortable with the fuckboy slash scumbag type of guys. But if you as a guy are able to show her that you're comfortable with it and you're giving her that sense of security and her basically just at the end of the day, bro, a girl wants to be your slut. Like that's what it comes down. She wants to be like your hoe. It sounds crazy maybe to the boyfriend type of guys, but I'm just saying what the girls want. Like, I mean, I have my girl and she'll tell me like choke me harder. And even now I'm like, you know, I gotta force. It's like sometimes I just want to chill, bro. I just want to like just chill and have sex. She'll like, no, grab me. Why didn't you slap it harder? Like, what the fuck? You a pussy?
She'll grab your hand, she'll grab your wrist. Like, I'll be like in my sexual position. And then the girl, like this one girl that I'm fucking, this girl's like literally a hardcore choker. Like she loves to get choked. I'll literally be having my hands on her tits. And she just literally grabs my wrist and she's like, choke me. I'm like, oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Literally. That's like number one move. Like she'll like put your hand like this.
Yeah.
I just want to chill and just whatever.
Prince, this is another example of the same couple that I was referring to just now about the boyfriend energy. So I said, like, how'd you guys meet each other? He's like, you know, I saw her at a bachelorette party. She was a server at a bachelorette party in like some event or something like that. I guess that's what it was. And then he said, I saw her and I was interested in her and I gave her my information. And then I lived in California at the time and I flew her out to meet me in California. I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, do you guys fuck in the coat room? Right. So it was like some kind of like wedding hall or some shit like that. So I'm like, did you guys have sex in the coat room? Yeah. And then so he was like, oh man, no, I didn't. And she's like, oh my God, what do you think I am? You think I'm gonna be unprofessional? I'm like, come on, let's be honest. If he told you for just 5 minutes, just come into the coat room and suck my dick and I'll fuck you from behind, you know you would love it. Right? Yeah. Like this guy didn't have it in him to say that. And he's not liberating his mind. And you know what? And here's another thing too, bro. This is where this guy fucked up big time. And I could have like really wrecked this guy's image on camera. But I was just like, man, I'll crush this guy in front of this girl so bad. I didn't want to do that. I would have crushed him so bad. So the guy, so I said, how'd you guys meet? He explained the story, right? And then he's
Yeah.
like, and then he voluntarily said this, Prince. He's like, yeah, I think she's the one. And this is how she responded. Oh, I don't know about that. And I was like, oh my God, why would you even say that you think she's the one, dude? Oh, Prince, it was
Yeah.
so bad, dude. So fucking bad.
But you know what's interesting though about all of this? Like sometimes the mistake that guys can also make, and it happened to me. Like I was, let's say in the beginning, I was more like, I mean, I guess every guy kind of starts off in like there, and then over experience, you just know what girls want. Or maybe exception, if you've just already grown up with like guys who are like that, then you naturally acquire it just at a very early age. But most guys start like the boyfriend type of spectrum. And basically, what happens sometimes is the guy moves too far to the right. And what's interesting is at the extremes of the spectrum, the game kind of flips. Let me give an example. So what happens a lot with me actually is, let's say I have sex with a girl, like a new girl, whatever. She'll feel a type of insecurity about me. And what she'll feel is that, oh shit, this guy, it was so comfortable for him to just, invite me over to his house, have sex with me. Everything was basically too smooth. Like he was too comfortable. Like I'll be too far in the fuckboy spectrum. And for a guy like me, actually, the game becomes to convince a girl that I can be her boyfriend. And literally, I mean, I'm serious. And then, I mean, I had like sex one time with this one girl, and she wouldn't have sex with me, right? And literally, and like I said, like I don't actually, when I say these type of things, I don't condone lying, and I didn't lie in that situation. I actually also liked her. She was very beautiful, but the way she gave it up to me, essentially, she wouldn't want to have sex. We're in the bed, and then she starts saying like, "Yeah, you fuck all these girls." Da, 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 da. I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Yeah, I know I know what type of guy you are." And I was like, "Yeah, I thought you were gonna," but I told her like, "I thought you're gonna be my wife." She's like, "Your wife?" "Yeah, like you're gonna be my wife. We're gonna be together forever. We're gonna conquer the world together." And now she's like, "Oh shit, maybe I can be his only one. Maybe I can be the one." And that's when she gave it up, essentially. But on the other end of the spectrum, if you're super boyfriend, you have to work to like become more of a sexual threat. So it's very interesting. Like this, like I said, the rules change where you're on the spectrum. For that guy who we talked about, he was too far on the left, and the girl essentially was like, "Oh, I'm not your one. What the fuck? Like you aren't even like fucking. You can't even fuck me right." But then on the other far right, the girl would be like, this guy fucks me too well, but I'll never be his number one. Essentially, girls kind of always want what they feel like they don't have right now. If it's two boyfriend, they're like, yeah, he already thinks I'm the one. Da, 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 I'm always girlfriend. Yeah, so easy to get. He doesn't have any options. Like, I don't want to be the one for him. Like, I want him to just fuck me harder and be cooler and maybe have like 2 or 3 girls that are trying to fuck him too, right? And then on the other side, you kind of flip it. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, what I remember, there was this girl that I hooked up with a couple days ago, and we met online, and I remember she drove from a northern part of Arizona to meet me in my area.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to do an Instagram live earlier this past week, and she's like, "Where should I sit in your place?" And I was like, "Because I don't want to be in the background." I was like, "I mean, you can sit on the couch right over there. You won't be in the background." And then but I had her sit on my lap so I could just like see like what the camera was. I'm like, "Hey, just come sit over here really quick." So she sits on my lap. I open my camera roll. When you go to Instagram Live and you open a camera, your camera roll shows up. And there are two nude pictures from the same woman, from like a different woman altogether, right? So the first thing it opens is 2 nude photos, and she looks, and I just own it. I'm like, "Yep, those are some nude photos right there." We both start laughing about it. And then we go to Instagram Live to like test like the whole like width and length of the camera thing stuff.
Yeah.
So after I told her, you can wait in the couch. You know what she did? She just waited in my bedroom. She just chilled in my bedroom the whole fucking time. Had me, another dating coach, and a moderator, or not a moderator, a host, all together talking about dating and talking about fucking girls, talking about like, being a man and all that kind of stuff. And she's just there waiting to be fucked.
Yeah.
Right. So that
Yeah.
energy of, of just like owning who you are and owning your
Correct.
sexual presence is so important. Now, what you're
Yeah.
referring to as well about the boyfriend thing, like, or just like having like this, you know what it is like about this long-term sexual energy? Like, I feel like every girl has a role in your life. There's
Yeah.
some women that you just want to be friends with and you have literally no sexual intentions at all with them. And I'm not talking about getting friend zoned. I'm talking about friend zoning girls. Because when you
Yeah.
friend zone a girl, you actually get leverage from that. Because if you
Yeah.
friend zone a super hot chick, guess what? Her hot friends get to meet you. And one of those
Yeah.
single chicks, and if you guys are doing baller shit, doing table service, yacht parties,
Yeah.
going out to dinner at fancy spots, you improve your social circle that way. So I help guys with that too.
Yeah.
Um,
Important. Yeah.
yeah, so friend zoning super hot girls before they friend zone you. And
Yeah.
then the other one is like there are those girls that are the one night stand chicks, right? So I tell these guys in Las Vegas, Prince, that I'm going to be at my transformational retreat. I'm like, listen, you guys are a little bit sometimes a little giving a little bit of soft energy. You guys are
Yeah.
not expressing yourself boldly. Like I feel like being bold is a theme for the Las Vegas thing that's coming up for me and
Yeah.
my students because I'm
Yeah.
very bold.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm telling these guys, listen, they're not looking for boyfriends. They're not looking for anything long term. Express yourself very sexually, very boldly, very provocative, but do it calibrated, right?
Mhm.
And don't be scared of these girls. Don't seek their validation. Don't seek their approval, and don't be a people pleaser either,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So, and then there are some women, Prince, that come into my life that I'm like, you know what? I could potentially see myself long term with this chick. There's something about her that I don't just see her as like every week she comes in just to fuck. So she'll
Mhm.
come over, we'll go grab dinner, even to like we'll fuck, grab dinner afterwards, we'll go watch a movie, we'll go do some kind of activity because I want to test her on a a non-intimate level to
Mhm.
see if I wanted her to be my girl, like how would we be on that playing field,
Yeah.
right? So I think like there's a role for every girl in this guy's role because there's even girls out there that will even put guys in specific boxes. Like, oh, he's just like the fuckboy type, he's the one
Yeah.
night stand type, you know?
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I feel like girls, I think actually instinctively, and that's one thing I want to talk to you about, like relationships. I feel like girls instinctively, they actually want this one perfect man. They want like this prince, uh, on the white horse that's gonna come save them, and that basically matches like all the that ticks all the boxes essentially. Like you said, bold, assertive, not a people pleaser, but also the type of guy like who won't threaten her emotional security to the point where she feels anxious all the time. Like girls want to have position, right? I think what girls at the end want, they want they want to have position, and preferably number one position with the guy who's assertive, bold, and has options. I think that's what girls want, and usually, and I think that's like a new thing basically, because I'm pretty sure. I mean, my mom, my grandparents, I think it wasn't like a concept for them. But girls, what they do now is because they can't find all these traits in one guy, they'll basically have like this new mating strategy, which is like, okay, I'll date the boyfriend who's gonna take me out to dinners, do all this for me. And then on the side, I'm gonna like have this fuckboy rail me, but it's nothing serious. Essentially, she's cheating, for example, and the fuckboy is like in the dark and just fucks her. But the nice guy never finds out about it because the cool guy, basically the fuckboy type of guy, he never really says it anyway. He's cool about it. He's non-judgmental, right? And then a girl will have like double or triple mating strategies, like this guy for this guy for this guy for this. And I think it's bad for women at the end of the day. As for like a man, right? Like it would be interesting for me to know, like, how do you approach a new girl coming into your life? Like, are you looking for a girl that you can, let's say, have long term? Like, do you give every girl the chance to be with you long term? Or are you more on the side of, all right, cool, I'm just looking for a new girl to fuck, essentially? Like, what's your approach to all this?
I would say that not every girl is going to be automatically considered for a relationship.
Yeah.
The thing for me, Prince, is like when I'm hooking up with girls, if the girl, see, it's to get even to my bedroom is a privilege. That's what a
Yeah,
lot of guys need to understand because the guys that are chasing after women, seeking validation, seeking their approval, and being people pleasers, and they're just simping, right?
yeah,
These tricks and simps,
yeah,
they don't value their body, they don't value their dick, they don't
yeah,
value their mentality, they don't value their worth altogether.
mm,
If a guy has value, if he values self-values himself and he knows that he can put it down in the bedroom, which is extremely important component if you were to get in a relationship with a girl,
mm,
if he believes in that and he knows that he can do it really well, oftentimes it's really hard for a woman to like just walk away from this and say like, well, that's it, I just got dick down and I'm just, that's it. No, she's going to
yeah.
come back because there's something about you that is so charismatic and everything.
That's true.
I would I would say that's what I wanted to first off say by with my response is valuing yourself. Then once you have that identity, again, that part of your identity, once you have an idea of that within your identity, essentially for me, I look at the way the girl's positioning herself with me. Like, is she like when I ask her to, let's say, if I was hungry, if I had this live stream with you right now and I had a girl meeting up with me in about 15 minutes and she's going to open the door and she's not going to disturb our interview, right? If I
Mhm,
told her like, hey, bring me some Chipotle on the way here because I'm hungry and I want to have Chipotle right when I'm done with my stream with Prince.
mhm.
If she says no, why do I have to?
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna want to fuck her, honestly. I don't want
yeah,
to fuck her because why should I give you my golden dick when you're not even willing on a non-intimate level to be giving me some Chipotle? What Chipotle's like fucking $10 for a barbacoa or steak burrito, which I
yeah,
usually eat at Chipotle. So you're telling me you can't spend $10 and invest in me when I'm investing my body, my time, my energy, and you think I never spend money on you either? When I got us, let's say, drinks at a bar sometime or for a first date, like girls have to, because sometimes what happens, Prince, girls think very tunnel vision because girls
yeah,
live in chaos in general. They're very chaotic by nature. So
yeah,
they're tunnel
absolutely.
vision, they're chaotic. So what we do as men is we bring structure into their life. So if a woman is open to structure, open to reforming the way she thinks, she likes not just surface level conversation, but thought provoking, deep, profound conversations where I can liberate her and really and be her escape from her judgments of herself and all her insecurities. She's considered for a relationship. But I
Yeah,
don't care how much of a girl, how baddie of a girl she is. If a girl's a baddie, right, a 9, 8, whatever out of 10, but she's not willing to be led by me and she's just craving my dick, well, we're just gonna be a one night stand, honestly. And we're
yeah,
probably, you know what I mean? Like if it's like Vegas and I'm like, fuck, I'm never gonna see her again. Who fucking cares? As long as I'm being honest with her, she's being honest with me, dick her down. All right, adios. You know,
yeah.
but you're definitely not gonna be a relationship.
That's so true, man. That's so true. And that's what I meant. Like we're gonna agree on a lot of things. What I call this is essentially just one basic word, compliance. That's one thing I look out for if a girl is considered for a relationship or not. And what you just did, what you just said, is actually some really good game for girls because I feel like a lot of girls, and I made a YouTube video about it. A lot of girls are actually very unconscious about their dating behavior because it's a concept of like the fisherman who fish the fish. The fish can't understand the fisherman, but the fisherman has to understand the fish. Yada yada yada. Like girls are very unconscious, and on top of that, what girls actually don't understand is they're a victim of their own attractiveness. Let's say I'll explain you actually why. I give an example from my personal life. So there was this chick, for example, and she, we hooked up, we had sex, and I could see that she actually wanted to be in a relationship with me. Like she was already like hinting at it, essentially. She wanted to go out more. She would basically say, "Hey, when are we?" It's funny. She'd be like, "When are we actually gonna have a date?" I hope she doesn't see this video. Maybe she does. Whatever. But she'll be like, "When are we actually gonna have a proper date?" And what she was referring to, like, we would always like meet at my place, essentially, right? And I'd always be like, "Yeah, I'm tired, and I was working too much," or I always say like, "We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it." And the real reason I never gave her the actual relationship that she wanted was because at the beginning, I would like start, throwing out some, I don't know. So how should we, what should I call it? I would start throwing out, some things that, I was testing her with, right? And I was testing her compliance. So for example, what I do at some point with girls, especially if I met them off Tinder, I'll start kind of teasing them saying, why the fuck are you actually still on Tinder? Like, I'm better than everyone on Tinder, right? And just see how she responds. But just, jokingly, right? Right. And a red flag immediately is, for example, if the girl's like, yeah, but you're also on Tinder. Like, that's true, right? I'm not saying it's not true, but it's not compliant. Compliance from a girl is that when I say, look, delete Tinder now, and I'm still on Tinder, she's at least gonna delete it, and then maybe afterwards ask me, hey, I deleted mine, could you also delete yours? Something like that. That's more, but if your girl's like off the rip saying, yeah, but I'm not gonna delete it because you're not deleting yours, that's non-compliance. Or for example, I tell the girl, like, you should cook something for me one time. And then she'll be like, yeah, I'm not really that good at cooking. I know we can order something. That's non-compliance. She's just not compliant. And actually, look, I don't condone guys like forcing girls to do stupid shit. When I actually tell girls to comply to something, it's actually something that would improve the relationship that I have with her. Because, and my good friend said this really, really well. That's Sterling Cooper. What he said was that girls actually want a dictator, but they want a benevolent dictator. They want a dictator who's a good dictator. So for all the like Me Too people, oh, he said comply. Oh, he's forcing girls. No, I'm not forcing girls. First of all, they can do what they want. But if I tell a girl to do anything, it's good anyway. So for example, what I told the girl, and she probably doesn't even notice, what I told her is like, you should like start hitting the gym. It's good for your health. Like everyone has to move, right? And I was basically just telling like, start become more active. We can all, I also even told her we can go to the gym together. And she's like, nah, I don't need to go to the gym. I already have a good body. I'm like, yeah, but still, you want to like prolong how attractive you are in the future. Like it's good for you. And she's like, yeah, I'll think about it. But like she said something stupid, like, doing too much sport is bad. And all these things signal to me that she's not compliant enough. So I basically removed her from any future possibility of her being a serious girlfriend of mine. So, but the problem is with a lot of girls, the problem is twofold. So a lot of girls are unconscious, like I said, about their dating behavior. So she probably doesn't even know that because she was not compliant, that I basically, in my mind, said like, okay, cool, this girl's not going to be girlfriend. But at the same time, girls hate the truth. Girls actually hate the truth. Like if I actually told this girl, yo, look, you can never ever be my girlfriend, because you're non-compliant in this and this matter, and there's no future with us. I basically just have you as a side girl. She would freak out, And actually, I think she would rather want me to just say nothing about it, be cool, don't basically cause conflict about her. Like, let's say she says, yeah, but, I don't like going to the gym. I already have a good body. I'm like, yeah, but, it's still good for you. Yeah, but I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Like, if I pushed it, she would actually not even want that. So girls kind of fuck themselves up. Like they don't realize what guys really want, which is like compliance and like cooperation. I think Kevin Samuels calls this like just cooperating. But at the same time, girls don't want to hear the truth about it because they want to feel attractive and feel like they're just these beautiful angels. So yeah, it's good game that you drop for girls because girls need to hear this. Like if you for some reason are not able to get the guy that you want, like there's just one guy and he's not giving you a relationship, most likely you're just being uncooperative and he's at some point sensed in you that you're just fucking annoying if he tells you to do something. And that especially with high value men.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is these women are influenced by two kinds of people. It's either or just by two factors,
Yeah.
by her man or society. So a
Yeah.
woman that is led by society is a chaotic woman. That is
Yeah.
not a woman that is in her femininity. She's not centered with herself. She's not in her feminine identity. She's just chaotic. She's influenced by Instagram, by all these like, go me, boss babe, independent girl type. Oh God, please.
Yeah.
Like those kind of women, like absolutely dreadful to deal with. And I don't normally deal with those kind of girls anyways, but if I remember there's this one girl that we had sex on the first night at my place, and then I told her, hey, so one thing I would like to do is like test your cooking skills and see like how good you're on the kitchen because that's important.
Yeah.
Because you said
Exactly.
you, and I told her
That's a good
you
way to
want,
do it.
yeah, and I told her, hey, you want a relationship, right? She's like, yeah, I'm interested in a relationship only. I said, okay, well, let's put you in the ring. Let's put you in the ringer.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
cool.
go,
That's what I mean. Like you got to do it like kind of cool and also jokingly, but it's
yeah,
actually like, yo, cook. Like with this girl, what I said was like yo, like what, like she told me she can't cook. I was like, yeah, you can train. Like just go to the kitchen and just try to cook something good for me. And she's like, yeah, but I don't know if I can do that. I'm like, okay, like if you can't cook for me and we have a baby, like the baby's gonna die.
yeah,
Like, that's why I was trying to convince, like in a fun manner, like, oh, so when we have a kid, like you're gonna let our kid starve, ha ha ha. It's like,
yeah,
nah, but it's a cool way that you do it. Like, I like that. That's a
yeah,
good example of like, I might actually do that. I might take that from you. Like,
yeah,
I might
sure,
be like, yeah, I
absolutely.
just wanna test your cooking skills. Like, how good are you? Like, let's see what you can do. That's
Yeah,
good
and
one.
I think and leading by example is important because I know like you're into fitness and everything too. So, you obviously have some cooking skills within you as well. So if the
Yeah,
girl's like, oh, I don't know how to cook, say, all right, well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the grocery store, we're gonna go buy some stuff, we're gonna cook my favorite meals, some steaks, some broccoli, and some mashed potatoes, for example. And the girl's like, okay, so you go ahead and get all the ingredients, you show her from start to finish how to do everything, and they say, all right, this is what I want. So like every time when you come in, I'll say once every few weeks, you cook us a steak, chop up
yeah,
some broccoli, and you get us some mashed potatoes or whatever, right?
yeah.
Now, another thing a guy can do to make the cooking fun is he can ask her, hey, what's your favorite color? The girl says, I like blue.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go on Amazon. I'm gonna buy you a blue apron and I'm gonna have it delivered. And then when it's delivered, we're gonna put that apron on and we're gonna
Yeah.
watch you cook. Right. So I
That's a
did
good
that.
one.
I did that one time, right? And this girl, I told her, hey, I'm gonna get you a blue apron. She's like, do I really have to wear an apron when I cook? I was like, we're done. We're done. And I
See,
told,
non-compliance,
yeah,
non-compliance. Like because basically now you gotta argue with her. Yeah, blah blah blah. Like just wear it. It's fine. Like she's not getting a point. She's just being a dickhead for no reason,
yeah.
and that's always a no go,
But
especially for high value men. I would say 1,000%.
Prince, check this out too, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely, it's a no-go, right? So check this out. The resistance is such a minuscule thing about wearing an apron in the kitchen. You know what that means? That's opening a can of worms to more resistance in the future. That's not the
exactly,
end. It's gonna that's you think that's just that one time. Oh, no apron. No, it's gonna be a whole lot of stuff. And that's what guys don't see. So when guys are
exactly,
like trying to push through that, Prince, they're thinking like, oh, if I just say yes to her and people please her and be, make her happy, happy wife, happy life, everything's going to be dandy. No, that's not the end, my friend.
exactly. And you know what's interesting? Because that's why I say compliance is the most important thing. Now, what that means also, it implies that you can also build yourself a quality girl. Because, like you said, even if she can't cook, like a lot of guys were like, yeah, my wife needs to be able to cook. I want a girlfriend that can cook. Well, if she can't cook, right, then the guy might say, all right, cool, that's not girlfriend material. Well, I see it differently. The way I see it is, all right, cool. If she's compliant, I can just teach her or make her cook. And then she can cook. And that's it. Then I have a girlfriend that can cook, right? Like even with the girls I'm with, let's say if they don't cook very well, I'll literally just like I'll give them tips. Okay, that was too much salt, that was too much of this. I like more this type of food. You can build a quality girl as well. And on the flip side, this is also interesting. Sometimes a girl might seem like a good girl because she can cook. I had this one girl, for example, and literally, like, she would like, and I think she was doing it just because she wanted to like earn points. But that's where she fucked up, basically. So she was cooking and she was cleaning, and she was doing all these things, right? But then, like, basically she was already a package. But then when I told her to do something else, that's when she was still uncompliant. So at the end of the day, even if she was a good girl, quote unquote, because she knew how to cook, she knew how to clean, she was going to the gym, she was taking care of herself. Now, when I told her something else, also something minuscule, she would still be uncompliant. But in this case, right, the girl had an ego about it, because the girl already thought of herself as like, I'm already a good girl. I can already cook. I can already clean. I take care of myself. I do all these things. But that's where girls miss the point. The point is not necessarily that you're doing all these things. The point is that you're doing it because the guy wants you to do it. I mean, for example, at my point, like, I don't need a girl to cook for me, for example, right? I literally don't need it because I have a cooking lady. Like, she cleans and then she cooks the food. So if a girl wants to cook, I actually don't need it. I just don't need it. So if for me, a good wife doesn't, I mean, she should be able to cook, of course, but I don't need a good wife that cooks for me all day long. I might need something else that she's compliant in. But if the girl is just not compliant in general, it's still a red flag.
Yeah, and I think what's important, Prince, like, since we got so deep onto the whole compliance and cooperation from women, for a man to be able to have a firm understanding of what he wants his woman to do in his life, for him is that he needs to have roles and responsibilities listed for a woman.
Yeah.
He needs the roles and responsibilities. When you have roles and responsibilities listed for any woman in your life, you'll have a better idea of how to lead and how to delegate certain tasks, right?
Yeah.
So for me, one responsibility of a woman in my life is, let's just say I had a girlfriend and she's going to help me in Las Vegas with my students. One of her responsibilities is, let's say, to go to the grocery store if we are like, low on snacks. Just go to the grocery store. That's not my job. I'm the dating coach. I'm leading this shit. That's like an assistant's job. So she'll go drive to the grocery store. I'll give her my credit card, my business credit card. She goes and buys all the snacks and shit, brings it for the students. Boom. Right. And a role of a girlfriend of mine in my profession is that she has to be like a kind of like an assistant of mine. That's like a specific role.
Exactly.
And by the same token, Prince, she has to be 100% comfortable with the fact that I got half naked girls on my Instagram. I got girls on my Instagram. I'm making out with girls on my Instagram and shit. I mean, if we're gonna, like, she just got to be cool with it, that it's on there. And I don't care what her parents think. I don't care what her grandparents think. I don't care what her sister thinks. I don't care what her brother thinks. I don't give a fuck what any of these other people think. And I don't care what my own family thinks, right? I'm going to live my life the way I want to live my life. So if she's not able to follow my program, my structure, my leadership, you're not ready to be my girlfriend. You could just be fuck buddies and you can still help me here and there, but you're not ready to be my girl.
Yeah, 1000%. 1000%. That's exactly the way I see it. And that's why I asked you the question I asked you, like, with the, like, if you consider girls long term, because a lot of guys, I think, like, they think like being a guy that gets a lot of girls only means fucking girls. But I tell you guys all the time, like, if you meet a girl that you just see, like, she's beautiful and she's actually compliant, like, it can actually benefit your life. Because, like you said, like, even with the Las Vegas event, you have someone who can go out and just fucking get the groceries or get the snacks or something like that, right? Be an assistance in your life, do stuff for you. And she does it happily because she loves you, right? And in return, you protect her, you love her, you make sure you fix her problems and all that. And I think that's like the true way man and woman should be, right? And it's a good synergy. So 1000%, I tell guys all the time, if you meet a girl, right, that is compliant, and the good thing with, like, a girl being compliant, first of all, compliance also is dependent on the guy, right? Like, a hot chick or hot Russian 9 isn't going to be compliant to some KFC worker, right? You also got to, like, actually work on yourself as a man, right? Become more high status, earn more money, go to the gym, right? Work on every single realm that you can work on, and you become better. And the girls that you meet will be more willing to basically just follow your lead, right? And at that point, you can just be a man, And you can actually, and that's what I wanted to get to as well. You can actually just be like, all right, cool. I want to have like this one side chick, right? Like I'm just a guy, like I'm not gonna be in a relationship and just fuck one girl for the rest of my life. That's just the way I am. And you'll see if you're high enough as a man on the status level, the girl will actually be compliant and she'll follow your program. She'll be like, all right, cool. As long as I know, I'm the number one, as long as I know that I'm his, girl, I'm gonna be compliant, let's say, and let him, make out with some other girls, have naked girls on his Instagram and be cool with it. And you can definitely find girls like that, 1000%. I mean, like how was it with you and your girl? Like, you don't have to share too many details, but just describe the dynamic. Like, how was it? Like, how did you maybe react in the beginning when she saw all that, or did you already see it from the get-go, like you with all the girls and stuff like that? Like, did you ever have to explain it to her? Like, how was that dynamic?
So I don't have a monogamous partner right now, or a girl that is like the closest to me. I'm right now just like shuffling between different women, and I would say they're all the girls are not far apart from how close they are to me. They're all like pretty much on like the beginning stages right now.
Yeah.
However, I can give context on this. So back when I was living in Los Angeles, I was doing a lot of podcasting, similar to what you're doing right now. I was on YouTube. I was doing some live streams and stuff, and I would interview guys on Instagram Live and on YouTube, like dating coaches and fitness coaches and stuff. And there's this one girl, I'll never forget her. She's married now, actually, but she sometimes like checks out my Instagram too, just to see what I'm up to. And I'm like, she can't get me off her mind, right?
Typical.
Yeah. So this girl was such a sweetheart. So what she would do is she would come all the way from Orange County, California to Los Angeles, which is about, without traffic, an hour and a half. Now, with traffic, 2.5 hours, and sometimes even 3 hours.
All the way to you.
Oh, yeah. So this girl would drive all the way from Orange County. On average, it would take about 2 hours for her to get to my place. She'd arrive. This girl would go to Sprouts, which is like a health food store in California, and they have them in other states as well. She'd go to Sprouts. She'd grab salmon, broccoli, asparagus, rice. She would make her own dishes. She would bring her own cookbook. She would bring everything. And she would be cooking literally while and I would give her access to my house because I have Google, everything was Google in my property in LA. So I would give her the pass. I would open the door for her, like remotely while I'm at work, working for my family. She'd come in, she'd start cooking everything. So by the time I arrive, the food is ready to go. I start my live stream, and then I eat dinner with her afterwards. So she'd keep it in the oven and everything. And this girl would just sit on the couch and just watch me do my work. And guess what? During the conversations, I'm talking about, I had sex with this girl. I had sex with this girl last night. I had sex with this girl. And I would bring it up for a reason, for context. I'll say, because we would talk about fucking girls in a specific position. I'm like, oh, that's funny that you said that, so-and-so. I fucked this girl literally last week, and we were in this one position the whole time, and she enjoyed it. She came through there, right? She came in that position. And other girls literally watching and listening to it. And I wouldn't feel guilty. I wouldn't feel ashamed of it. So when the thing was done, I'd take off my headphones and I'll go up to her. I'm like, hey, how'd you like the stream? She's like, I liked it. It was good. Say anything caught your attention? She's like, no, I think everything was pretty solid. So right there, she was the type of girl that she would suck my dick on demand. She would literally shower me with gifts and stuff like that. And she would let me drive her car all the time. She always had this super nice rental car she would drive because she was a travel nurse. And we would drive cars here and there and stuff. And she bought me even my, I have a skydiving picture or video on my Instagram. She bought me that for my birthday and convinced me to do skydiving. So thanks to her, shout out to her for convincing me to do it. Bro, this girl was awesome, man. And but she knew about all the shit I was doing. But because I was not ashamed of who I am, and I was not trying to placate to her. I was not trying to kiss her ass and say, oh, just to let you know, that girl, we're not talking anymore. So you're okay with me bringing her up on stream? I'm not asking for her approval, permission, or her validation. She saw value in me, and she saw how real and authentic I was. So she knew I was a fucking player. but I didn't lie. I wasn't like, hey, I'm a player. I'm not a player. I'm the boyfriend type. No, she knew I was,
Yeah.
and I told her straight up. So if a man wants to be in that position to have girls like that, he has to really own who he is, Prince. He has to own his identity. He has to be very comfortable. And then I got to say this one last thing before I give it back to you.
Yeah.
You're mentioning some very important points about like having higher status, going to the gym, making your money. I want guys to also understand that a higher status does not mean that a woman's going to be compliant automatically. Here's
Yeah.
why.
Of
Let's
course,
talk
yeah.
about like Johnny Depp, disaster of a situation with Amber Heard. Also, Michael B. Jordan, while he's a great actor, that guy has horrible leadership with women. And Lori Harvey and all these girls that just take advantage of his lovey-dovey boyfriend energy. Bro, the guy has all the money in the world, and he's a good-looking guy. He can fuck any girl he wants. Any
Yeah.
girl on demand. Hey, come suck this dick. Okay, literally go behind the back of the bar, and she'll literally suck his dick like in an alleyway where it's like fucking grimy and shitty. The girl doesn't care. He's high status, right? So
Yeah.
while everything we're saying is very true, but I want guys to also understand is like, you got to have the status, you got to have the money, you got to have the workouts, everything, be healthy, all that. But you got to own your identity, and you have to not seek approval, seek validation, and not give it that boyfriend energy that we've been talking about throughout this whole stream. Guys got to be careful with that. So that way, girls will see you as that edgy guy, but they also see that I could potentially see him as a long-term partner, but I understand I have to accept his lifestyle. I have to
Yeah.
understand these are his friends. I have to accept that these are his people, considering if he's high quality in general.
I mean, that's a really cool point you're raising. I mean, that has always been very interesting to me, like the Michael B. Jordan types, the Johnny Depps. I mean, there's many like things like that. Like even like Jeff Bezos and stuff like that, like these ultra high status, just super rich, successful people, and they're still getting bitched around by the girls. And what I always said is I would love to meet these guys, because something in me says, I don't know if these guys are really who they portray themselves as being. Because when I say like improve your status or improve who you are as a person, I'm talking about every realm, right? Like if I say I improved as a man, just because I have like, let's say $100,000, $500,000 more in my bank account, I wouldn't necessarily say that alone is improvement. Of course, it's financial improvement, but it has to be improvement across all realms. Let me give you an example. Let's say today I made, let's say I just some crypto move, and I made $5 million today. If I made those $5 million, but I stopped working out and I became a, just fat guy, just I didn't look as cool anymore. My physical appearance just degraded. I wouldn't say that I improved as a man, because I see it as like you have to be good in every, like it's just it needs to like level up across the board, right? Like just because you're rich, if you're still a dork and a pussy, I mean, it kind of cancels out, right? So what I'm thinking about like these celebrities, there has to be something else that is lacking so much that it literally cancels out the status that these guys have acquired. And I would love to see it. Like, I would love to meet these guys. I mean, the way I imagine it is like maybe, and Michael B. Jordan, he's in shape, he seems cool, right? I mean, he's charismatic, he's determined, but there has to be something. And what's this girl's name? Like Lori something?
Lori Harvey.
Yeah, Lori. And wasn't she like dating Future afterwards or something?
Yeah, I believe so.
Exactly.
So.
And Future's like more on the scumbag type of like spectrum. And something in Michael B. Jordan must have turned her off so badly, so much, that she was like, fuck this status, fuck that he's in shape, fuck that he's cool. Da, 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 da. That must have been, and it's also the way they broke up. Basically, like it's like he was basically simping for her. So yeah, like you have to be good across all, like your masculinity always has to be on point with like how rich you are, if you're rich. If you mentioned the gym cell, right? Like if you're just in the gym pumping muscle, you're like this huge guy, but then in social situations getting bitched, I'm sorry, bro, it will cancel out. It will cancel out. I mean, I've had this with guys. I've literally had this when I was like much younger, like I was like 17. Like I'll see like this bodybuilder because I was used to work out a lot, like for in the gym and stuff. And I'd see like this bodybuilder, like older, and I'll talk to him, and I could just sense that he's just not sure about himself. And that kind of allowed me to be more cocky towards him, just to be like more, yo, we do this, da da da. But if the guy would have been masculine and that buff, I would have been like more reserved. Like, okay, kind of need to watch out. I'm talking to him. So yeah, it's totally true. And to what you said, what would interest me actually is like, why did you like what happened with you and the girl? Like, why didn't you ever just make her your main girl, or whatever? Like, what happened? Like, are you want to say or?
Yeah, no, it's thanks for asking.
Yeah.
The reason why I didn't want to make her my main girl is because I found another girl that I was seeing at the same time, and she became my main girl.
I see.
Also, like I told her that I'm moving to Arizona, and I pretty much told her like if you want to come see me, like you can visit me, out of state.
Yeah.
But what she was saying, she's like, well, I really want to excuse me, I want to settle down. I want to find like a man that can be consistent with me. And
Yeah.
now that you're moving, it's not going to work out like that. So, listen, you deserve the best. Like you've been with me now for, I think she's on and off with me because she had a
Yeah.
moment where she realized she couldn't control me and she was like pissed off about it. So she like ventured off and disappeared for 3 months. Then she hits me
Yeah.
up later. She's like, hey, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm good. You want to meet up again? She's like, sure. So we started that consistently. On and off, we were together for about like, I would say like a year.
I see.
And I told her, look, I know you really want to find a man. You've been great to me and everything, but I think you should go find somebody who's more consistent and is going
Yeah.
to check all the boxes for you. And she's like, yeah, no, I agree with that. So I told her to like pretty much leave and go find a more suitable man.
I
And the girl that I found at the time, like she was attractive. She was somebody that I did see a future with. We didn't obviously stay together, but we did had plans. Like, we moved to Arizona together, but we ended up separating like last year. But
Yeah.
overall, that experience I had with that one particular girl, that was like the best example of a woman who was very compliant. I remember during holidays, like during Christmas, Prince,
Yeah.
this girl freaking decorated she said, she's like, if you want, I'll give you a whole Christmas shopping list on Amazon of everything you should get to decorate your house. I'm like, sure. So she gave me the wish list. All I had to do is just click, 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 click to buy the stuff. It gets delivered. And I was, again, be at work. If it's not a live stream day, I'll be at work. She comes to my place about a few hours earlier before I arrive. She fucking decorated my whole Christmas tree, put all the like decorations everywhere. And dude, this girl is a fucking DIY type chick, do it yourself type chick. Bro, I
Yeah.
had a new bed delivered, a California king bed delivered to my place. This girl built this shit herself. She's like, I will literally build your bed for you. Don't hire anybody to like to fix it for you. I was like, okay. I'm not a DIY type guy. If the only DIY I ever did was like Legos when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But like this girl literally built my whole fucking bed while I was handling a shift. I come
Yeah.
home, all my sheets are on there, everything's ready. I'm like, whoa, you did this yourself? Like how? It's just like a 5'4" girl.
Yeah.
You did everything. I was like, yo, respect. I'm like, come here and get this dick. You deserve it. You
Yeah.
know? Shit.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, girls like that obviously are good. I mean, obviously, things can happen, like you said. Like sometimes just minor things, the girl just gets ticked off, but it's one thing, maybe like you moved away. And girls at the end of the day, they try to control men, right? That's just like their default nature, right? They're like, oh no, I want it like this. You'd be like, no, but I want it like this. And then, and then essentially it just leads to a non-agreement, I guess. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely good girls out there. I mean, have you like you're just based in America, right? Like, have you ever like gone to Europe or South America and checked out the girls there?
Woo! My man, absolutely. So I've been a traveler with my family ever very young. I thank you to my parents for introducing me to travel at such a young age.
Yeah.
I traveled solo for my first time domestically when I was a teenager to go visit my cousin in Arizona when I used to live in California.
Mm-hmm.
The next traveling solo thing I did was I went to Costa Rica after I graduated from university. And
Yeah.
I went in Costa Rica for 2 months. I lived there. I learned how to speak Spanish fluently in two
Wow.
months.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, man, it
I'm
helps just
Mexico right now. I also learned Spanish.
yeah, Spanish is whew, that is a one hell of a language to learn.
Yeah.
Um, so I did Costa Rica by myself, and then I started from Costa Rica. I started traveling a lot. Like I went to Colombia by myself. I've been to Mexico by myself. Where else? Germany, Korea, China, Sweden, and I think those are, if I'm not mistaken, I think those are most of the countries alone I have traveled because I've been like with my family and I've been with friends like in different countries. Now, one country that I've been going to a lot recently is
Yeah.
Colombia. So I was in Colombia in November of last year.
Yeah.
Bro, these Colombian girls, Jesus fucking Christ, man. And I'm gonna be there actually in May. Yeah, I'm gonna be in. I'm gonna be there in May.
Where'd you go, Medellin or?
Yeah, I go to Medellin. So in 2017, I went to Colombia for my first time. I was in Medellin, Bogota, and Cartagena.
Yeah.
This last time in November, I was in Medellin and Guadalupe. Do you know where Guadalupe is?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah.
I lived in Colombia for some time.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so dude, even I've thought about moving to Colombia potentially too, but I got to ask you some questions about that on the back end. But
Yeah.
but yeah, Colombia, whew, man, what a country, dude. The girls
Well,
are fucking wild over there.
well, the thing about Colombia, I mean, I left Colombia. The thing about Colombia, the girls, is that, like you said, they're wild. And I completely understand what you mean wild. Like, I don't even know if it's suitable for you to, but there, the girls, the thing is, a lot of American tourists come to Colombia. So I think the girls have just kind of figured out, because Colombia is a poor country, right?
Yeah.
It's actually very poor.
Yeah.
The economy is fucked. And the girls have basically figured out, I can use my body and my sexuality to basically famooze these American men and all these tourists. So they're sexually very, very like open and if you're like an American, you can easily fuck them, especially if you're like just a good looking guy, you're about it. It's Colombia is like, bro. I mean, I was in Colombia with my friends, and the 2 weeks, it was basically just, we got tired of fuck. Let's just put it like that. We just got tired. And but ultimately, the reason I left Colombia is because it wasn't good for me to network. I feel like there wasn't enough like high level guys there, and I feel like the guys that I met there, when I asked them like why they are there, it was always like because of the girls. And at some point, I was like, if you're just in the country just to fuck girls, then you're probably not the type of guy who like is gonna achieve a whole lot of shit in his life, right? So that's why I ultimately left Colombia. And Colombia, even though the girls are insane and they're very hot and they're very easy to, I mean, not like they're very open to sleep with you. Let's put it like that. Like I found it hard. I found it hard to find also quality girls. So that's why I left Colombia, at the end, and then I actually went to Mexico as well. But like, if you're a guy and maybe you haven't slept with like a lot of girls yet, and you just want experience, and you just want to experience like just this abundance of like having girls, then especially if you're white. I mean, I'm black. I mean, I was still getting a whole bunch of girls, like, I mean, whatever. But like, I had this one friend, white, blonde, blue eyes, bro. It's
Game
it's
over.
it's a he was like, he went to Tinder, he got like 100 likes an hour. So yeah, if you're like a guy and you just want to, get some experience, then you can just go to Colombia and just have some parties and invite girls to some parties, and you're gonna have an abundance of hot chicks. It's crazy.
It's insane. It's insane. Even me, like being Persian, it's funny because like they would look at me, they're like, "Oh, are you Arab?" I'm like, "No, I'm not Arab," because Persians aren't Arab. And I would tell them like, "No, I'm not Arabic," and they would think like I'm Puerto Rican or something because like I can speak Spanish fluently, right? But I would like just mess with these girls and tell them like, what do you think I am? After the guessing game, they would be like, "Oh, okay, so you're Persian and you speak Spanish fluently." And man, like, oh, dude, like these girls, bro, like how I talk to these American girls is how I talk to these Colombians too. Except with the Colombian girls, I will be more touchy with them because it's more accepted in their culture sooner. Doesn't mean I'm
Exactly.
not touchy with American girls, because like American girls are going to be like, you know how they are with the whole feminism bullshit. So they're going to be like, you know, why are you touching me like that? But
Yeah. Yeah.
but in general, in Colombia, I remember like we had a party one time in November where we had like, I'm not joking and I'm not exaggerating. We had about 30 to 40 women at this mansion party in Guadalupe.
Yeah.
And on total of how many guys were there? At most 6 to 7 guys. That's
That
it. And
that's what
dude,
you call a wrangle. That's what we did in Colombia.
bro, Prince, that was such an eye-opening thing for me. I was like, you know, I've never been to a party that there's an absurd amount of women compared to men. Absurd amount of women, right? And I
And
was like,
hot.
dude, I don't even know. Yeah, and they're hot. I was like, I don't even know where to start. Like, do I start here? Do I start there? Do I talk to this girl? Like, how do I even fucking begin?
Yeah.
Which one
Touch
should I
all
take to
girls at the
sleep with
same
me?
time. And touch all the girls at the same time.
Oh yeah, dude. I was being such a player over there, man. I was just going up to different girls. They're like, you probably said that to that girl already. And I was like, fuck yeah, I did. You like it or what?
Bro, that's crazy. Yeah, Colombia is definitely fun. I mean, yeah, America. I mean, I used to go to college in America. I mean, you can say more about like American girls, and we can compare like maybe like countries or places. Like
Mhm.
Colombian girls definitely like super hot, you know, and they're very very feminine. You know, they're just
Mhm.
very wild. So I don't know if they are very suitable. Like a lot of them are suitable for like long term relationships because they're
Mhm.
very like wild and crazy. But like American girls, how would you like say American girls are? Like, would you recommend guys to get an American girlfriend? I mean, I used to go to college, like I said, in America for 3 years. And what
Mhm.
the sense I got from America, especially where I was in like Georgia, Atlanta, is like America just got infested with this, like girls trying to act masculine at the end of the day. It's like girls are just trying to like show their balls or show their dick. And I found that so unattractive to the point that even if a girl was physically attractive, sometimes I would not be attracted to her just because of the way she was like carrying herself. She just seemed way too masculine, like giving fist bumps, like stuff like that. What's your impression about America?
Or she's calling you bro.
Yeah, calling you bro, fist bumps, like you know, I was doing sports as well, and they were just like acting too manly, like
Too
just
macho. Yeah.
like just be a woman, just
Yeah, yeah.
feminine, like just chillax. Like you don't have to be like a man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think a man should still go after he should honestly just go after whatever he wants, whatever country in the world he's in. I don't
yeah,
think he should seek I don't think he should bar himself from seeing any specific ethnicity because here's the thing, man. Like there are women in Colombia that are also broken, even though they're feminine. And there are women in America that are feminine, but they're broken as well, too. So I think it really depends on mostly your leadership skills and also your tolerance level. So
yeah,
if a woman with a lot of baggage is calling you bro or saying bet, you know, like you're like, hey, are you ready to go grab dinner tonight? Bet. I fucking hate when girls do that. Oh my
bro.
God. So cringy. So fucking cringy.
Bro,
So
you know, like, and I came to America, like, I never used the word in Austria, like, even though I was extremely fluent in English. Like, I'm from Austria, by the way,
yeah.
and like, I came to America and I see all these girls saying, "Bet," like, yo, hey, you wanna go to this place, like this coffee place, we can get a drink, bet, like,
So fucking cringe. So cringe.
yeah,
So I don't so the essentially it doesn't really matter about a woman's culture and ethnicity because if you think about it, what's more important is like her character and how to tap into her mind. Because I tell guys this, like if you want to have a lot of sex with girls, it's not about thinking about fucking her pussy. You got to penetrate the mind first. Because when you
yeah,
penetrate the mind, that because the woman has two pussies. It's the one between her ears and the one between her legs, right? So
yeah,
the one between her ears is the most important one. And when you're able to conquer that, leadership, compliance, cooperation is all in harmony with one another. They all coincide with one another. They all just like
yeah,
sit perfectly together. So I don't care if the girl's ethnicity is German and she's living in America and then she gets like, you know, feminism influence because here's what the thing is, whatever her influences are, they start to dissipate when she's around me and she's willing to cooperate with me. So the question is,
yeah.
are
That's
you
true.
willing to cooperate with me? Are you willing to
That's
be led by me? And if you're not, Off you go. Go find a guy who's willing to be your sucker. Not me. I'm
That's
not.
completely true. Yeah, that's completely true. That's why I said like you can build a quality girl. And I mean, like in America, I was in Miami and stuff, and even Miami, like I was this one girl, and she seemed very nice, and she seemed very just cooperative, just compliant. So it is true that everywhere you can find like a cooperative, compliant girl who will actually be on your program. So that's 100% true what you're saying. Like even if the girl like has some feminism in her, right? Like I was with this one girl. I mean, it wasn't particularly enough feminism, but she was just saying something like stupid. Like she said the world is overpopulated. And I don't know if like the viewers know that's a common myth. That's a very, very common myth that the world is overpopulated. Actually, you could, if you wanted to, fit every human person, every human being on Earth in New York, and it would still be space. That's
Really?
how if you actually fly with the plane. Like if you fly a lot, you see there's a lot of like land that's just not populated. So it's a myth, and a lot of the resource we have, the food is not being like a lot of it is thrown away. Just look at the nearby restaurant. Like what do they do with the food afterwards? Just throw it in the trash. But okay, the girl was saying, yeah, the world's overpopulated. And I just sat her down, like we were just sitting, I mean, and I just explained to her, look, it's just a myth. It's not true. Like, that's what the people just say. But you could fit every human being in New York. Like, if you actually just fly, like most countries, if you look even at America, the biggest cities and the biggest populations are literally just on the coast in specific cities. In the middle, there's so much vast land. So basically, it's all a myth. And I was explaining to her. And she sat down and she was sitting there and she was like, yeah, I've never thought about this. I guess that's true. That's correct. So I basically overrode a dogma, right? Social programming that she had received. And you can definitely do this with girls. Like, let's say you're watching a movie and there's just some thought shit happening. Like, they always put this in movies nowadays, right? Like the girl, I don't know, she's like kind of being a dickhead, but it's always the guy's fault. Now the guy has to make up for it. And then when the guy makes up for it, then the girl's like, oh, now, we can have a serious relationship, all this stuff. Yeah. And I'll literally later with a girl, I'll be like, you see this? This is bullshit, right? Like this is haram. That's what they're trying to teach the people today, right? That the guy should be soft. Like, do you actually like soft guys? Like, would you actually want a guy that's completely soft and does everything you want him to do, everything you want him to say or do? She's like, yeah, that's true. Actually, no. Like, yeah, just look out for it. Just be careful. The streets it's dangerous in the streets. And she's like, okay, I understand. And you can definitely do this with girls, 1000%.
And you know what? That's important that you said that because, having game and having leadership is not just about, and having sexual abundance is not, that's like you're mentioning, it's not just about getting girls. The way you're talking to her, the way you're coaching her, the way you're opening her mind, that's having game, in my opinion. Like when you are able to fuck the girl well, but by the same token, you're able to open, like I always talk about this to my clients, like inviting her to your world, into your viewpoint. When you expand her mind, that's the kind of stuff that she will get her to wanting to come back to learn more about you. Of course, you got to dig her down well. But if you, like, again, just on the foundation, intimately, you guys are doing well. But on a broader perspective, you just can just coach her and show her a new form of like enlightenment. She will see you differently from every other guy that approaches her like, hey, baby, you want to go to bed together? Hey, baby, you look cute tonight. You stand out. You outshine all those losers, all those average guys, and you're not average in her eyes.
Exactly. And that's where the real respect actually comes from. And I literally had girls say this to me. They'll literally be like, we'll be talking about, like, she'll ask me, like, why are you with me? And then I'll ask her, like, why are you with me? Like, just tell me, like, just explain me why, what do you like about me? And the number one thing that she said was, I learn new things. And guys underestimate that. And that's why you need to build yourself as a man. Because at the end of the day, the way the dynamic is between you and the girl, the way it should be, is that essentially, and it sounds like I said, like the Me Too is going to come after me. It sounds strange, but the girls actually want that. They want a man who's superior to them in vast amounts of areas, right? Superior financially, superior strength-wise, superior knowledge-wise, superior, like with your charm, superior in your network, superior in basically almost every realm of human endeavor. And she wants that because she wants to feel safe and she wants to feel like she's with a person that's going to guide her and it's going to teach her more about life. Because girls have one weakness, you know, and one of girls' biggest weaknesses is that they're just lazy. Like, bro, they're just fucking lazy. Like, literally. I mean, I work with women and they're just completely lazy. And the thing is, if you want to be superior in life, you need to work hard, right? But not only work hard, but you need to accept that you need to go through shit. And girls are too lazy to go through shit. They just want a comfortable life. They want to be happy. Like a real man, they're going to be like, all right, boom. Like, I'm just going to go through shit. I'm going to suffer. I'm going to go through hell to build the man that I want to be. And this building, this suffering, this going through shit is what girls intrinsically actually don't want to do. That's why they pick you to do it. They want you to do it. And if you do it for them and you can teach them and you're their guide now, that's when they offer their compliance. So, okay, you've gone through shit, you know, you're the man. I'm going to do as you say. I'm going to follow your lead, right? But I'm with you because you actually show me how to lead life and how to be happy.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, again, like that, see that right there, Prince, the way you broke it down is big picture thinking. That's high IQ thinking. And we need guys that watch these streams, watch your stuff, subscribe like to me and you and everything.
Yeah.
Guys need, and I always remind my students, like I tell them, like, guys, you think too small. You think
Yeah.
way too tunnel vision. Like the way, if you want to have women really respect you and be appreciated to be led by you, you got to think big, like the way you just explained it right now, like how, you know, how, with your response. And, and essentially, when you know, I know there's like not every woman wants to be led the way we want to lead our women, right? I know a lot of girls are not like that, but who fucking cares about those other girls, right? And I'm not saying you care, and I'm not saying I care either, but I'm just saying for guys who are just so worked up about it, worked up about the whole American women, Western women thing, it's like, gentlemen, like, fuck all that. Just find women that are compatible with your identity, compatible with your lifestyle, compatible with your leadership. Because I don't spend my time jerking around, wasting time like women this, women that. I don't do that, man. I'm here to give guys solutions to be like, yo, listen, build your foundation, build your program, build your identity, and start being bold in your masculinity and carry yourself in this world the way you want to be, the way you want to carry yourself and how you want to be perceived. And I'm telling you, these women are going to start flocking towards you, or you go towards them. And the moment they see you, they're like, something about this guy. When I'm like scanning, when she's scanning you up and down, it's like, there's something different about this guy. I can tell. Yeah. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm interested to invest and dive deeper and spend more time talking to him. And shit, I don't know what it is either. I'll probably just go home with him tonight if he does everything right.
Exactly. I mean, and you hit it perfectly, because a lot of guys think that game is just fucking the girl. And that's actually funny. Every time guys ask me, yo, Prince, how's your game to fuck girls? I explained them. I don't have game. My game is having no game. Now, how does that make sense? So if I'm talking to a girl and I'm trying to sleep with her, I don't think about, okay, what do I say now? I don't have I don't have lines or like stuff I need to tell her, jokes. I literally think to myself, keep it as basic as possible. Like I said, just look cool, have a cool appearance, reach out to as many girls as you can, ask as many girls as you can if they want to meet up. Once you meet up with them and you're at the coffee place, or, you know, or you're drinking margarita or something, just ask them, hey, you know, where are you from? Which places have you traveled to? What's your favorite place? What do you like to do in your free time? Oh, cool. Oh, this. Oh, that. Oh, interesting. This. Cool. All right, boom. You know, we've drank our coffee. We've drank a margarita. Would you like to like go to my place? We can talk some more. I have a nice looking place. All right, cool. Let's go. Okay, we're at your place. Some few topics. Hold her hand. Touch her thighs. Once you see she's interested, you go in for the kiss. You fuck her. Like that, bro. That's not game. Like, it's just there's no game involved in this. It's just basic human interaction mixed with you looking cool and being comfortable and going in for the kill. Like, but the real game, like you said, that's where the real, and that's actually difficult. being able to coach a girl correctly, respond correctly, you know, just carry yourself correctly during a relationship, during like a long-term thing with a girl, so that she sees you as the authority in her life. That's where the real game comes in. And that's actually difficult. So you hit the nail on the head, bro.
Yeah, thank you. It's again, it's like influence, right?
Yeah.
Because as I mentioned earlier, a woman can be led by two factors, either you or society. And if you are in a relationship with a woman who's being led by society, you are not leading her well. And that's where you're going to get wrecked. And society includes family, friends. Influences are like, Prince is this kind of guy. Cam is this kind of guy. Don't talk to Cam. Cam with all his dating coaching stuff. Fuck that. I want a girl who's like, mom, dad, Sophia, Tiffany. I don't care what Cam does.
Yeah.
I respect it. He's honest with his clients. He's honest in what he teaches. He doesn't teach men to be worse. He teaches them to be better. And I've seen it firsthand. This is my man, and I want to stick to him. That's game right there. And then how she's speaking about me, that's game as well. And how she's standing up against her parents, but without being disrespectful, that's game.
Yep, 1000%. And then there's one last question I have for you.
Sure.
Which is like a topic I thought a lot about, and I was going to make a YouTube video about it. One last question, which is, let's say a guy's in his, is 19, 20. Okay. What would you tell guys to focus on first? Making money or getting good with girls? If they had to choose, what do you think is more important?
Make money or get girls. And those are the only two options, right?
Yeah, like let's say you're like a 20-year-old guy, and he's just not good with girls at all, and he's also basically just broke. Like, should he first get his woman skills up, or should he be like, all right, no, I'm just gonna stay in my room and just try to make money? What would you recommend a guy to do first? I'd be really curious to hear your answer on that, because I'm thinking about it too. And
well, I feel like if you're 20 years old, it's a little bit different than being 19, because 19, you have a couple of years before you can turn 21. Because what I'm thinking right now is like, if you get your women skills up first, right, you can actually leverage that to get free shit in return from women. You can also leverage that to get into clubs 2 years from now. Like if you guys, or you have like a fake ID, guys don't get fake IDs. Scratch that part. But in general,
don't do it. I mean, we all know.
Yeah, it's against the law. I'm not promoting that. Do not get fake IDs. If let's say a guy, so if a guy gets his game up with women, he has charm and charisma that he has learned. In exchange, like he works some like decent 9-to-5 or some low-paying cashier job at Chick-fil-A or some, I don't know, wherever. Like he has like some kind of restaurant job working 9-to-5, but because he has game, he can use his game with women to, again, invite him to cool parties. He can get invited to certain social gatherings, because a lot of these women that are, really hot and really sexy, that are like maybe 19, 20, 21, 22, they can get access to like networking events, right?
Yeah.
So he can use and leverage his game, and he has a social circle of hot women, right? So if he knows when to friend zone and when to be intimate with women, the friend zoning girls invite him to the parties. He meets high value guys over there, right? Guys who are maybe 25, 26 established, or in their 30s established. Also, having a woman that, if this guy wants to get in a relationship and have a solid woman by his side, if he wants to start a business after he's mastered game at, you never really master it, because it's a never ending journey. But if he's like improved his game significantly and he's ready to start a business, he can have the girl help him with starting the business, having a role and responsibility for her, right?
Assistant.
Yeah, exactly. Now, let's just say by 2 years from now, he turns 21. He's at the club. He's ready to build connections with people outside the club. Now he's building connections within the club, because he can have hot girls all the time. Because guess what? You know what clubs survive on? Hot women.
Yeah. If
hot women stop going to the club, no one's going to go there. Guys are not going to go to a sausage fest, obviously, right? So if he can be the guy where, let's say even me, for example, yo, my man, I'm going to be in New York. Like, I have my phone with me. I'm going to be in New York 2 weeks from now. And I see you doing your thing with the girls on Instagram. You got like 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds, and I want to come hang out with you. You seem like a cool guy. And the guy says, sure, man. I've seen your advice. I respect your content. Come hang out with me. I'm going to be with 8 girls tonight. Bro, that's value right there. Right.
Yeah.
So in exchange, I could be like, yo, I'll give you some free coaching if you like, in exchange for like, or I'll buy dinner for all of us. And you can like, just give me access to like 8 girls and we'll all just go to the club together afterwards. So it's like a value exchange. You get what I'm saying? He can leverage his game to get value in return. If the guy goes with the money route, money obviously is good, but I don't believe I just it's such a good question because it's like everything has a pro and con to it, right?
Yeah, of course.
The money is a good idea because he can get financial freedom sooner. He can get mentorship and becoming financially free of time and money, right?
Yeah.
And that's very, very powerful to know the skills soon. So my only concern is that if whoever's watching this and listening to this, if you go with the money route first, I just don't want you to get tricked and use your money into like simping or tricking girls. Not saying your guys are simps or tricks or anything like that, but I just want guys to be careful that they don't use money as a coping mechanism because they don't have game.
Yeah,
right? Because you could be a rich guy who gets played by women all the time.
Yeah.
It's very easy to happen. So I think simultaneously should be the answer. But because your question is a good question, you have to choose either or. Reversing it back into my life again, I wish I learned game. Like I was still learning game at a pretty young age, but I wish I had the mentors I had in my life sooner than later. Because then money would have been the next thing for me to conquer, even though I was doing it simultaneously at the same time. But I feel like I would have conquered money even more by now.
Bro, that's some really, really good insight. And I want to touch on some of those. Like I said, I've asked myself the question also. And at the end of the day, I came to the same conclusion as you, that if I had to choose, ideally, I think it's better to start with the woman. Given that also, preferably, that you start as soon as possible. Now, why is that? If you go for the woman, people have this misconception that, like in the red pill space, they'll be like, all right, get the money first, and then woman will chase. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a lot of details missing in these statements. Mm-hmm. So let's just start from the start. If you get good with women, you usually get better as a man overall. Because especially in the very, very beginning, of course, if you've already had sex with 100 girls and you're still trying to get like more and more women, it has diminishing returns. But if you literally start at 0, the things you have to do to get from 0 to 30 involves building your confidence, building your swag, building your charisma, building your style, building your social anxiety, going to parties, networking with people, right? You got to maybe organize a party. You maybe got to throw a party. If you are at a party, you're trying to stand out, like your speaking abilities, being able to be direct, being able to be clear, like all those things need to happen before you can even like be a guy that can say, all right, I get many girls, right? Mm-hmm. But essentially, those things are what it requires to, for example, go from 0 to 30 girls, right?
Yes, correct.
But no one keeps calling me here.
These ladies can't stop calling the prince.
Yeah, I mean, but she just keeps calling her, right? Like, it's crazy. Let me see. All right, let me see if I can turn this off. All right, I guess they should get the point at some point if I keep declining. But let me continue. So you need to do all these things. Now, once you did all these things, you can completely leverage these into making money. And when you're making the money, you don't have in the back of your mind, oh shit, I can't really get girls, and then you go to this fucking party or you go to a club and you just fucking throw money in the air in the hopes of maybe getting a girl, because it's still like itching in your back of your mind. Oh shit, I can't get girls, right? So, and a lot of things in business are very, very, very similar to the things required to be attractive to girls. Yes. At the end of the day, being attracted to girls isn't actually really about being attracted to girls. It's about being an attractive member of society, being a respected member of society. Because like I said, you got to be charming, you got to be good looking, you got to be in shape. If you do all these things, people are going to respect you more. And because people respect you, girls respect you. And for example, in business, as like even the way we, got together, I just sent you a message, right? I mean, if I had social anxiety or something, right? I'm like, should I send a message? I don't know. Like, and okay, just that keeps getting annoying. Just keeps calling. Let me send a quick text. Just be like, yo, I'm doing something.
And I gotta go in a few minutes as well, Prince.
Yeah, I'm wrapping this up.
Beautiful. Dude, this has been a great fucking episode. So much game on this shit, dude. I hope your viewers like this.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, let me just, I'm gonna cut this out, but I gotta like, oh wait. I'm just gonna cut this out. Yeah. That's how fast chicks can try to ruin your podcast. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, you know what? I'm just gonna block this person for now.
Duty calls. Gotta block him.
Yeah. All right, let's get back. All right, let's see here. All right, guys, let's continue. Girl kept calling me. I just blocked her. So, all right, cool. Let's continue. Let's just continue. So basically, you got to be good at all these things. And even the way we hooked up, as I said, essentially, I sent you a message, and that's the same way. For example, let's say I found a girl, interesting, attractive. I just send her a message. Hey, but like it's normal for me now to just reach out to people because I've gone over my, like I don't have social anxiety. Like there's guys literally, they can't get girls because they're socially anxious. They can't talk to anybody. Picture the guy in the classroom, he's just like socially awkward, never really talks to anyone. No girl wants to be with him. But at the same time, right, he wouldn't, for example, be able to like get the business opportunity because he'll be afraid to talk to the guy. So, and then as for the money, the thing with having just money is it will still not protect you from being a dork or a loser. And let me give you another example about money, a different personal example. So even with me, at this point, like, and also you explained this, you were in a mansion with a bunch of Colombian girls, like that requires money, right? Like that costs something.
Right.
So if I got rich without having woman skills, right? And even in my situation now, let's say I go to the club. When I go to the club, like I'll get like champagne for everyone. Me and my friends will have like a private section, a table, right? And we'll just like all have all these girls around us and just to party. And at the end of the day, we might go home with one of them, right? If I didn't know that I can get girls without doing that, if I didn't know that I could just hit a girl up on IG, Tinder, have enough charm to just, just go on a simple Starbucks date or a coffee date, whatever other date. If I didn't know that, my default, if I had a lot of money, would just be like, okay, I want girls. Okay, boom. I need to go to the club now and spend like $3,000 in order to have the chance to get laid. So yeah, I think definitely pick the woman first, but do it preferentially as soon as you can. I mean, I started with like 16, 17. Like I was trying to get good with girls. And I think that helped me a lot because like after 21, I was like, all right, cool. Like I already had so much experience with girls. I literally fucked enough girls to the point where it was not interesting to me anymore. And I had the confidence about myself. And if you talk to other guys, they can sense, like even guys can sense, all right, does this guy get pussy? Or is this guy a dork? If like, okay, this guy gets pussy, he seems interesting. Let me maybe talk to him. He could be a cool friend. And now I can like start talking with guys and it's interesting. And it's like with business opportunities where you hit up, like you talk to this guy, all right, seems like a cool guy, like IG is cool, I see probably he's interesting. He's confident. All right, let me talk to this guy. And now you're much closer to even business opportunities. Guys taking you more serious. You're working out. You look better. You appear better. So yeah, I would say pick the girls first before you pick the money. Absolutely.
Yeah, and think about it also, just really quickly. Last thing I wanted to say was the how you said the guys will if their default was to just do table service with girls
Yeah.
with the possibility, not a certainty, right? Like you said, that they would sleep with them. If let's just say they slept with the girl, the way they're gonna justify is like, yo, I slept with this chick at the club, even though I dropped like $3,000 or $5,000 on the table, at least I fucked. And from that point, that precedent, what's happening, Prince, is this girl met you at the table. She's expecting baller shit from now on.
Exactly.
So it's not like, okay, let me take you to McDonald's or let's go to Arby's and get a sandwich at a fast food restaurant that we have in America. Go to Arby's or go to Chick-fil-A or something like it. No, it's going to have to be steak dinners, lobster tails, oysters, champagne, more drinks, more table service, expensive vacations. The girl's gonna it becomes very transactional at that point too.
Exactly. Yeah, 100% correct. And it's funny, I'm sure it's also like you said it yourself. If you're actually like high value and you know you have the money to do that, you actually want to get the girl to a Starbucks date. You actually want to keep the date cheap, even though you could pay for it, because you just want to see, all right, would this girl go out with me just on a normal, regular, just relaxed date, without me having to spend a whole bunch of money. Maybe you might even hide that you make a lot of money. You might not she might ask you what you do and you say what you do and, and she sees it already, but you're never going to really brag with your money. So yeah, because you want to see, all right, this girl, I just need to make sure she's not a gold digger. She's chill. She likes me for who I am, right? She's not out to get paid or something like that. So yeah, it's interesting. Actually, if you have money, a lot of times you want to not spend money on the girl and just have it be not about the money. So yeah, I mean, I totally agree with what you said there, bro. I mean, I would say let's wrap it up. I really appreciate you coming on here. And it was like a really amazing, just conversation. And if you want to, maybe just plug in your stuff and just tell the guys where maybe your next event is, or, where they can find you, a website, social media, just tell the guys about where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. Prince, it was an honor to be on your platform. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for reaching out to me. It was a great conversation. You're a solid dude. I hope to meet you in person one day.
Yeah, 1000%.
For sure, man. So yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. It's Coach Grand Cam. So Coach and then GRANDCAM. My website is thegrandmail.com. And my next event, again, at the time of this recording, is going to be in about less than a couple of weeks from now. It's on March 23rd and March 28th in Las Vegas. We have an Airbnb that's about 10 minutes from the Strip, where we are literally going to be having lectures on masculinity, seduction, how to be high value, how to have a social circle. We're going to have women that we're going to be approaching, doing some day gaming, so helping the guys become more bold and confident in their masculinity and seduction skills.
Yeah.
We have table service a couple of nights. We're going to be going to clubs on multiple nights. We're going to have meditation, trauma clearing, getting rid of insecurities, a whole variety of stuff. Swag checks. We're going to have an Instagram photo shoot too. So all the guys are going to dress up. My photographer and videographer is going to take pictures for the guys, and we're going to show them how to filter their photos and edit them for Instagram. So we got a lot of stuff going on. I'm really excited for it. If the guys who are listening cannot make it to this event, just reach out to me on Instagram, Coach Grand Cam, where I will literally let you know what the next event's going to be. But my YouTube channel is Coach Grand Cam as well. I do also have We Like to Be Wild, which is my podcast and interviews where I interview chicks all the time, and there's all this wild shit going on. Just say, dude, Prince, just when you see the video coming up, dude, it is so fucking wild, bro. Last night was a fucking, when guys say, oh, yo, last night was a movie. Last night was a banger of a movie, man. Like, these girls are fucking crazy, dude. I love it. So I love life. I love helping guys out. For everybody who watches to the end, thank you so much for hearing my voice. Thank you for hearing my message, and for supporting Prince and supporting me as well.
All right, bro. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, guys, check his stuff out. This guy is legit. I saw it immediately, when I checked him out. So check his stuff out, and you'll learn a lot. Appreciate it, brother.
All right. Thank you, Prince. Appreciate you. You have a good one. All right.
You too, man.
All right. Peace.
All right. Bye-bye.